Well then, everyone, it is a interesting time in the NFL space, but before that happens, let's get to the intro. Welcome to the Untitled Sickos Project, where I ate Spencer. I ate him. He'll be back next week. I just ate him. Okay, I am Bears fan alongside three of my lovely co-hosts, and coming in today to fill four of my lovely co-hosts. I just remembered to count, and then alongside me,
Five.
it's the. I'm getting to the reason why I say four, and I have a lovely member of the Gaggle Gallery joining us today as taking place for one of the co-hosts. But well, it's time to get everyone introduced. My bit didn't work.
Yeah, unfortunately, in terms of the main co-host Taegan, there was four, not three. But I do have to ask you this question. How is, how is Spencer gonna get out?
Magic.
I think he's down. I think he's genuinely down for whatever happens.
Yeah, whatever works, will have to work. But anyways, I am Nickman. Let it be known that I did not make the Josh Allen thumbnail for this. This was not my creation. I know I've been making more thumbnails as of late, but that was not my creation. Nobody at me about it.
Yeah, that was some things, but thankfully I'm the one that makes the title, so there's many factors going against the Buffalo Bills this weekend. Number one, the curse wheel from Brandon Perna. That fucker is scary. Never underestimate the curse wheel. It is unbeaten in the playoffs so far and 15-2 in the regular season. Don't underestimate. It's that wheel is terrifying.
Not only that, we also have the Super Bowl logo as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, would you two like to introduce yourselves to the lovely people out there?
Yes, I am the ever quiet Juggerbear here for my
Or
couple-minute intro, and then I'm gonna go silent the rest of the day.
or as we're going to call him by his true name, Wiper Plush.
Oh, shut up.
I just find it funny that you just never changed it.
That's just his alter ego. You know how like Jacksepticeye has Antisepticeye and Markiplier has Darkiplier? Instead of Juggerbear, we have Wiper Plush.
Damn,
But yes,
me too.
the other person who spoke as well.
We
Who
could
are you?
make a bunch of money off of just selling Wiper Blade plushies. That's our next enterprise jugger.
Yeah, thank you, Mister Wiper Blade plushies for speaking.
Mm-hmm.
True. Who was the other person that said the Wiper Blade plushies? Answer yourself.
Oh hi, I am the MaskedAura, and I got a new car. So I'm super happy about that. I'm like the difference of driving it with the old car I did is like night and day, because it felt like my other car could literally break down at any minute versus this car, which just I've never been so relaxed driving on a highway before. I don't have to have a death grip on the steering wheel.
That is great to hear.
And yeah, that is the Mastor. We also have another member of the Sickos, and this one has personally been victimized by Patrick Mahomes.
I guess that's my cue. The guy who had to see his team lose to Patrick Mahomes again for the second time in the last 5 years. Got slow fired though. 24 Amper here. It's good to see you guys.
I feel like I saw you guys yesterday.
And
Good to see us
also,
again, though.
yeah, and also though we have the first ever introduction to the member of the Gaggle Gallery finally being on the podcast. Who are you, and how did you break in? That's my job. God damn it!
I'm the cross rendering guy. I make the shitty anime thumbnails. I'm also the resident Josh Allen Pookie Bear stan. That's why I'm here. I heard Josh Allen and I said my calling is here.
My Taegan just cursed your Pookie Bear. I'm sorry.
I did
Well,
not curse him. It's a blessing. You don't get it.
the Taegan blessing. He'll make it
Is
so
it
Josh Allen will
though?
win the
Is
Super Bowl.
it?
Is it?
Are you sure about that?
Listen, the Bills are up against everything. They got to go into Arrowhead. and they're down one of their top defensive people, so they're already at an uphill battle. The last thing I need is more issues.
Yeah, give me tougher challenges.
You know what? But it's all right. This is the year. This is Josh Allen's potential MVP season.
MVP season, sure, but Super Bowl appearance, he has to play like the whole team has to be perfect. If the whole team is not perfect, GG. It's GG.
Listen, I have the game plan. If Patrick Mahomes is going out of bounds, I don't know, just snap him or something.
No,
There's not much you
don't
can really
touch
do.
him. You're gonna get 15 yards.
Or you know what? Take the 15 yards. Put the fear. Tell Mahomes that he's here to collect his soul. That's all.
Listen, to paraphrase what a wise man once said, I'm just here to try and rattle his cage, and I think that's the game plan for the Bills against Patrick Mahomes. Just try and rattle his cage.
Just tell him that we're first drive. Just hit him. Let him know that you're there.
True.
Assert dominance.
Yeah, assert dominance. Be assertive.
Simply put, I think if you're a member of the Buffalo Bills, I don't think you should hail Satan. Rather, I think you should just get the power of Hatsune Miku and God on your side, and then it's the easiest W you've ever taken in your life.
Yeah, but Taegan, I feel like all of that is negated by the thumbnail you just made in the curse wheel.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I think it's one of my best thumbnails, actually.
My sunshine, my only sunshine.
I am
Look, they are-
literally Josh Allen's ear.
Yes, you are.
I'm not here.
Alright, so we got games to talk about. Let's talk about the refs versus the Texans.
Oh, oh my.
I'm sorry for this cringe dialogue that I had to open up with the refs and versus the Texans, but you know, stuff like that.
Just can't keep getting away with it.
It's not even the refs. You know what? If you were to tell me and look at it, did the refs have some impact? I will say some, not all of it. Where was that? You know, who remembers that third down one? Who was blocking Justin Reed on that blitz? 8 sacks. Not calling a timeout on 4th down.
Yeah, that was quirky.
Are you sure? You sure it's the refs there? You sure
Well,
everyone's like? You sure it's gonna be the refs? Dolph
Where's
Coleman,
the
you
thing?
fucking engagement debating bitch.
God,
There's
I'm
a
so
lot of
tired
engagement.
Oh
There's
my
a lot
god,
of
there's so
engagement
many
we had
people. Like,
here.
I swear, it's this fucker whenever like there's a slight controversial call. And apparently, according to the insiders on Sunday night, according to the NFL, it apparently was the right call.
The
I do love
If you
NFL.
want me to be honest with this game, like, yeah, can the refs be annoying? Yes, they are referees. There is at least a 75% chance they will annoy the hell out of you in a football game. And unfortunately, it had to have happened in this playoff game. However, I heard Luke say this about what the Bills need to do against the Chiefs and how going into Kansas City, playing in Arrowhead, you really do need to try and play a perfect game. And of course, if you play a better game than the Chiefs, you do everything better than them, of course you'll win. But this is the Chiefs we're talking about. They have so much on their side, it's very hard to do so. So, the Texans had to go into Arrowhead and do that. Now, with that being said, I don't think what the Texans special teams did all game was ever going to help them accomplish that goal.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It just feels like those games were ages ago.
It
It's
does.
like
it
it's
felt
been
like
43 years since the last football game.
it's only been like 7 days.
Sunday, because there was no Monday game.
I think it's more because it feels like we have the same AFC thing over again, which technically it is. I get that we got Chiefs Ravens last year, but let's be real, that's that was just another Mahomes masterclass that was going on.
Yeah, and also Zay
Yeah,
Flowers being an idiot. But
About the Chiefs is that it doesn't even feel like they need to play a perfect game anymore. They can make mistakes, but they never make that big one, and nobody ever capitalizes on their smaller mistakes. All it takes is one big mistake, and the Chiefs are starting to run away with it.
You
True.
give them an inch, they take your entire game. It's
I mean,
that insane. It's
I
gonna
mean, here's the
be
thing.
quite the chess match between the two.
If there's any team to beat them, it'll be these Bills. They're the only team to beat the KC starters. So.
And here's the thing, you could say regular season, but you know how many times teams have beaten the Chiefs in the regular season to then slip on that
And then
banana peel that Spencer put there, and then the entire game falls apart.
Yeah, then they just the Chiefs decide to lock in. It's like, yeah, we're talking about the Chiefs, in the regular season, like, oh, this is the worst the Chiefs have been. And then, like, for the playoffs, they've just, like, locked in.
yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Remember that the Chiefs beat the Bills in Arrowhead last year. I mean, the Bills beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead last year, and then at Oracle they lost. They lost anyway.
Yeah, it's just.
But you know what? There's hope. As the resident Bills guy here, Josh Allen enthusiast, really. There's hope.
But guys, isn't he supposed to be a Falcons fan? Aren't we supposed to be addressing the animal in the room? Are you sleeping with two quarterbacks, Ren?
No, I'm sleeping with Josh Allen, and the real estate is the Falcons. Listen, the Falcons will be my team. I will say, to do as my sicko introduction, I'm a Falcons fan. I'm Joshy Pookie Bear stan. Have his jersey, so. I say the Bills because I wanted the whole team to be successful, but at the end of the day, it's Josh Allen, because he's a dog. But no, I'm and there's not much to talk about with my team, dude. My team kind of sucks.
I mean, you can talk with Luke here, because I don't know Luke. It seems like your former boyfriend isn't being treated well by his new boyfriend. How does that make you
boyfriend?
Here's the thing, and I've said this to Spencer over and over again, right? Specifically because he did not believe me when I said I think Penix is going to be very successful. I've watched every Washington Husky game when he was playing for the Huskies, right? I saw every single one. That run that they had to the national championship 1 year ago was something special, and I don't think will be replicated for quite some time. Penix is the real deal. I think he had quite a good stretch of games. Sure, Falcons, he can't play defense. And if the Falcons focus on defense, I think they will be on defensive improvements. I think they'll be fine. But Penix is the real deal. I think this draft class might be one of the rare draft classes where everything hits.
Well,
Yeah,
as I described shilling here, I made a Falcons video, peak shilling. I just, this team, we could have, honest to God, could have had the elite, honest to God, could have had the first seed. If they played better football, they could have had either the first or second seed if they locked in. But they didn't. They didn't lock in, so.
I was about to say, perfect description. I think you said it best. Why can't you just be normal?
Gwen says that all the time. If you would go to his Twitter accounts, it's almost like a gimmick right now, where it's why can't you be normal? It's almost like Tree's Steelers gonna Super Bowl, except more depressing and more reality focused.
It's just like, I don't want to make this whole thing a Falcons thing, but it's like, because I kind of explained the thoughts in the video. It's like, we paid all this money to get a QB, and then the QB fails, and we only win one more game than we did last year.
I mean, if you're really thinking about it, you're like, thank God we did what was probably described as one of the stupidest moves in all the draft and drafted Penix at 8. Aren't you glad you had that little trump card up your sleeve?
Yeah, because you know what? Who would have been our backup? Nathan Peterman. I think we signed him. I forget.
He was on the practice squad.
Yeah, I think Nathan Peterman was our third string.
So I think it's only appropriate that, as much as people think like that draft choice at the time was a bad move, it's the move that might have saved the Falcons for the long term.
Hey, and for the first time in like a billion years, we're not picking 8.
Yeah, it's true.
True. It's true.
It is true.
I do gotta say though, just before we get back to Texans Chiefs, I will just say regarding that bet that you made with Spencer, Luke, it will always be funny that if you had just made a slight correction to your bet and said that he would have been a top 10 pick, you would have won the bet.
I know. Because the thing is, though, right, is because, like, I wasn't entirely sold. Because, like, I believed he was, but, like, my heart is, it's one of those things where, you had your foolish belief systems put in place. Like, I had my full heart and soul fully believing that Penix was going to not be a top 10. Like, I believe Penix was a top 10 tick, but something was like, I don't know, some people have a second round grade on him. I think there's quarterbacks that people are just more interested in. Left-handed quarterbacks tend to not have a great success rate at the NFL. So stock could slip a bit despite him being one of the most electric players in college football. And I was listening to a lot of like podcasts too, and a lot of them were like, I don't know about the big question mark was like Penix. They said JJ McCarthy was the safe one. Jaden Daniels was going to be the exciting one. Caleb Williams was the obvious first pick. Drake May needed to marinate for a little while longer. And then, so I wasn't so sure about that, but if I did, Spencer would have to watch 100 hours of VTubers. I'm waiting for, because like I want to give Taegan peak content, and I'm still waiting to see what Hololive wants to do with their animatic recollections. I want to wait till what they want to do with part 2. I should have made him watch the Nimmy Nightmares debut though. I think I should have made him do that, but I guess not yet. We're still waiting forward to see what Hololive has planned for this
Luke
year.
has me by the balls, and it's unfun.
I'm giving you genuine good content.
No, I'm not saying. Look, I'm just saying, like, you can give me good stuff, but it's also where you have me by the balls.
Mm-hmm. I could be merciless, but I could be merciful, and I choose to be merciful.
Mm-hmm.
You can be your angel or your devil, really.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So.
True.
Yeah.
That's true, but so I just gotta say real quick because I'm wondering if we should talk about this now or save it for like the coaches segment because I know the Texans made coaching changes today, and I'm just wondering, do we want to talk about that now or save it for later?
I think it kind of fits the. Bill.
Okay.
So,
And this is where I would bring Noah in. I would bring Noah in to talk about this.
breaking news. Noah, you have the floor.
Yeah, Bobby Slowick got fired. Honestly, I'm surprised they did it. I thought he would have gone another year despite what happened, despite the second half of the season. It's a surprise, but it's honestly for the best. This offense was awful, especially in the second half of the season. That Christmas game against the Ravens, man, my eyes wanted to leave my sockets.
Well, the thing is, I still don't think firing him's the right move right now. Like after next year, if he's still like that 100%. But you don't want to get into the pattern where you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give my young rookie quarterback a new offensive coordinator every year, because I feel like a lot of teams end up falling down those paths with young rookie QBs.
That's
Cliff Kingsbury
true.
is the only example right now that probably isn't going to be the case. But like, there, simply put, I don't overly like the move. I get why they did it. I just don't think the timing was right.
Here's my thing on it, because, like, I get it's a 50-50 where I can understand why the Texans could have kept him for like another year, but I also understand why they're making the change. Because, like, from what I've heard, and Noah brought up the Ravens Christmas game, and yeah, that was a complete disaster for the Texans, but mainly the offense. Like, only putting up 2 points on the Netflix game is really bad. But it needs to be said that from what I heard, D'Amico was really mad at Slowick about that game. Like that was kind of the turning point where it's like it really looked like Slowick was he was not going to get a third year. That was the real turning point. And the thing is, I agree with what Taegan said, but considering Slowick made it 2 years, I think this is the time where you can make that move, because we saw it all season, because we saw many Texans games where it's like the Texans offense would have a decent start in the first half, it looked solid in the first half, and the second half would happen, and they would look completely lifeless. And that was basically the case for the Texans for the majority of the season, to the point where there was a long stretch, like back in like October and November, where like the Texans were just not getting any touchdowns in the second half, and it was really bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the thing that is like I kind of always will say, what's the one thing you don't want to do to a rookie quarterback, which is consistent changes of the offensive coordinators, consistent changes of head coaches. But this is the one case he's going to be in year 3. I think he'll be fine. But it's a move that I'm surprised it took so long to happen, because these kinds of moves, like, it should have, like, if it was this guy is garbage, this guy is done, he's absolutely fired. That's like a move you make like Sunday. They were really having a tough time with this decision, I feel.
I mean, most likely. At the same time, though, the NFL, especially for coaching this year, has been very weird. But we'll get into why that is later. Since we're still on the topic of Chiefs, Texans, real quick,
I do
I
actually
did
want
want
to.
to go ahead, Nick.
Oh no, I was just about to add, like, I wanted to really get this point in about Slowick, because I've seen people mention it, and it really does apply true to, Bobby Slowick, and not just him, but also other coordinators in general, where it's like, it really shows just how cutthroat and how much of a roller coaster the NFL can be for coaching prospects. Because remember, Bobby Slowick, after his first season, he was considered a genius, an absolute genius with what he had done with the Texans offense. And then, of course, 1 year later, he's absolutely hated. And it's a story that's happened before. Like, look at, like where someone does very well as an offensive coordinator, they get considered for, head coaching opportunities, and then that doesn't go through. And then lo and behold, their stock completely falls off right after. Like, we've seen it with the likes of Eric Bieniemy and Byron Leftwich, and it feels like Bobby Slowick's another case of that. Like, I think Bobby can climb himself back up into, possibly, being that guy again, but it's going to take some time, because it's just, this season was really rough for him.
I mean, even that too, like the fall of Eric Bieniemy needs to be studied, because, like, I thought there was a good chance that he had for him to audition himself for the Commanders head coaching position. Then they felt like they needed to go in a different direction. Then I'm like, you know what? UCLA is a program that needs they move on from Chip Kelly, who, I mean, did good for UCLA when he was there. And then you shift towards Eric Bieniemy. It's like, you know what, this could be like something to watch. Oh, and you fired him after one season. Okay.
Yeah, like his fall off is truly a spectacle to behold. And by the way, I'm glad you mentioned Chip Kelly, because yeah, Chip Kelly's a rumored guy for the Texans offensive coordinator job.
Oh my fucking god, that is just ironic.
Just want to mention one more thing. Beyond the firing of Bobby Slowick, the other person who was fired from the Texans was offensive line coach Chris Strausser. And while we're going to be up in the air for Bobby Slowick, I don't think anyone's going to disagree with Strausser's firing. Awful pre-snap penalties, couldn't stop a breeze, allowed Stroud to get sacked a million times, and a million more pressures were allowed when he wasn't sacked. I don't think any Texans fan is going to miss him. That offensive line needs work. That was awful.
It
Terrible.
was so bad. The offensive line was flat out terrible in every sense that you can think of it. I mean, I thought it was in at least an okay enough spot, I guess. But then to see that they 8 sacks versus Kansas City. They gave up 8 sacks. I mean, not to mention 2 of those were on complete critical plays where had they protected their quarterback, they would have, I don't know, won the game. So
Yeah,
it's
and
gonna be interesting.
the funny
to see
thing
what
about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, the funny thing about that wasn't even the first time he had gotten sacked 8 times this season, because it also happened in the Jets game.
That's the freaking Jets. That's another clown show. It's gonna be interesting, but like the unfortunate thing for D'Amico Ryans is this does feel like an organization that does move off of head coaches or just coaches in general quickly. So I'm kind of wondering, like, is the hot seat of D'Amico Ryans warmer than people are willing to admit?
I mean, I think that more just comes from the fact that the 2 previous Texans coaches before D'Amico Ryans were Lovie Smith and David Culley, and they both lasted one season respectfully. So I think that's where that kind of comes from. I think D'Amico's fine for the time being. Like the fact that the Texans even won a playoff game this postseason with how many things just went wrong for this team this season, it kind of feels like a miracle, and that definitely helps them. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how the Texans do in the 3rd season under Ryans, because I feel like there's going to be a lot where the Texans can really have a bounce back year, but there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done.
Well, the thing is, too, I don't think in any case D'Amico Ryan should be fired, because you've won 2 playoff games in over 2 years. That is a success for a winning culture. I think that I think the Texans organization would be really unsmart to fire him after 2 years of success.
Well, yeah, they're not
But
doing
I
that.
also get where the hot seat's coming from. But I'd wait a bit, see how the first couple of drafts pan out first, and then we'll see. But God, my brain. God, it's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff for sure. Speaking of weird weird stuff. Feels like we should get to our next game.
No, I wanted to talk about the Chiefs for just one quick moment as well.
One more? Alright.
Simply put, can we officially say that Patrick Mahomes has lost all good faith with NFL fans of non-Chief NFL fans? Because
This is pretty much a given.
that fake slide lost a lot of credit for me against him. That was one of the bullshittiest things I've ever seen.
But that's the refs. He's not telling the refs to throw the flag, though. I think it's more people are upset that he's gonna get away with so many penalties called against him. So I think people are just more annoyed that it feels like whenever you play against the Kansas City Chiefs, you're not gonna you're gonna have the refs against you. I don't think he's lost any goodwill with me at least. I don't think people should lose if people respected Patrick Mahomes, because he's done the fake slides his entire career. He's done so many times like, I'm going out of bounds. Psych! Touchdown! He does this all the time. This isn't nothing new.
I think what needs to happen is you need a team to say fuck it and take the 15-yard penalty. I think it's gonna take. He's gonna keep doing that because he knows he can get away with it. The one time, when he gets freaking Drew Bledsoe, he's gonna stop. If someone just bump it and just knocks the crap out of him, it's probably gonna stop. I also don't think, because I've heard people are referring the Chiefs as the modern day Patriots. I think the thing with the Chiefs and Patriots is that the Chiefs just don't feel like a good team. They feel like they should have missed the playoffs, but they just somehow find a way. Those Patriots teams, nah, they're good. But this Chiefs team this season just doesn't feel like a Chiefs team, of yesterday. Not yet. I can't really say yesterday, but hell, 2 years ago.
I think the best
I mean,
years past. How do I say this?
They were never in the position that the Chiefs ever were during their dynasty.
Well, this is more reminiscent of, that one year, or there was a Super Bowl year where the Patriots played the Rams, and we all thought, this is the one higher at the weakest. The Rams should, easily win this with the slam dunk. Psych! Patriots win their...
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I feel like the Chiefs of not just... I feel like last season was genuinely the appropriate comparison between that Chiefs team and that Patriots team, where it's it was clear that New England in 2018 was very much beatable, but there were still the Patriots. The Chiefs last season were still very much beatable, but they're still the Kansas City Chiefs, and they found ways to get the job done, mainly because both examples, they both had great defenses. And it feels like that's applied to this season, except the Chiefs have found basically every way in the book to possibly win a football game. That's what this season feels like.
I watched I forgot who made the video, but someone was someone made a video of all the Chiefs wins, but if you move the crucial play to give them that win a few inches. I forgot. Someone made a video that was moving the Chiefs, if they move the inch, say what if we moved as Isaiah Likely 2 inches back, he makes that catch, Ravens win. They block a guy on that on the Denver field goal, Denver wins. It's just how do you keep getting away with this? How? That's why people saying Mahomes has that devil magic, because it's any other team loses this game. They lose to the Ravens, they lose to the Falcons, they lose to the Broncos, they lose to the Raiders. All these teams they could have so lost to. Only few games the Chiefs had this season were like, oh yeah, no, they won this game, like against the Saints or
Browns.
Browns. Like,
Yeah.
so, like the other three teams in the NFC South could have beat them. The Panther, like when I was like the Panthers, the lonely Panthers are giving the Chiefs a run for the money. It's like some teams you should blow them out. Like the Panthers. Like just teams, the Raiders, you should be blowing these teams out. But you're keeping the game close. That can't work in the playoffs. This game, I think this game right here is the game of the century. That's a joke, but it's like the Bills are a very good team. The Bills didn't have that downward slump that the Texans had like later in the season. This game will prove if the Chiefs all whatever, like they're the Kansas City Chiefs and they're damn good at football. But
the thing
I'm convinced that the Chiefs have protagonist plot armor, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how you could have the greatest offense and greatest defense of all time at the same time, the greatest team ever assembled, and you'd still lose because the Chiefs have actual demons underground.
I mean, it feels like
something
to
real
me,
quick.
the only team that is capable of beating the Chiefs, all ironically, is the Commanders. They know how to play it tight. They know how to blow you out of the gates. And that seems to be like the only way to beat the Chiefs. And I mean, the Bills, I think in theory are, yes, the best team. They have proven for the most part that they've been able to blow teams out of the water. Like
They've also beaten the Bills too.
Do you want to know something? Like, Josh Allen hasn't played in 12 quarters of the game.
he's just that damn good. That,
Yeah, he's saving those 12 quarters against Mahomes and in the Super Bowl.
Like
He's going to have a full quarter to remain if needed.
Like I said, this is why that game, the AFC Championship game, is the night game, because the Chiefs haven't scored over 30 points. So the Chiefs don't know how to, like, can the Chiefs be in that dogfight to be like, this is going to be a shootout? Can they, like, I don't know. It's like, sometimes it's like, you can't keep playing teams close. It's good to keep the game close, like the game is manageable, you can win this. But it's like, when you're not able to put up 30 points, and teams like the Commanders, who have a rookie quarterback, can put up 30 plus points, or just any other team can put up, the Panthers can put up 30 plus points, that's like, hey, if you fight a real team, like someone who doesn't hold any prisoners and has everything in the world to play for, are you going to survive that game? Are you going to be able to go toe-to-toe with them? Are you going to be able to hang with them? Which is what we'll find out on Sunday.
Yeah.
I will say this though. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Okay, I'll make this quick. It's just the thing with the Chiefs. It's just, and this has been this team's status and last season's Chiefs team status, where it's like, I do not see where the Chiefs are just like, and this is just with how Mahomes has looked. The Chiefs aren't that shootout team anymore. They are not that
anymore.
shootout team. Definitely not that shootout team. But what they are, and what they usually do, from what I've seen all season, having to have to watch so many Chiefs games, is that they just, like, it's a slow, suffocating death against this team. And it's always, most of the time, it's always at the hands of the Chiefs defense, because the Chiefs defense is why they won the Super Bowl last year. And God forbid, if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl again, it's going to be because of that defense.
Yeah.
That defense is deadly. Chris Jones is just unbeatable. Steve Spagnuolo knows how to run a good unit. It's, again, I hate saying this, it's very... They found their own way to do... Well, I guess it's the Chiefs' way now. Har, har, har. But, like, they found a way where they don't need a whole lot of stars. Just guys knowing what to do, when to do it. You know, just hitting the timing perfectly.
Yeah, they're an enigma, basically.
Well, I will say this: if if Buffalo ends up losing, and I really hate to say this, but we might have to call Josh Allen the NFL Shinji Ikari.
I mean, I think if Josh Allen
God.
just flat out loses this game,
Again, if the Bills lose this game, then I'm convinced that the Chiefs have actually mastered the forbidden arts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is like, and it's like I feel like this. I felt this last season, with the Bills, but I especially feel this season like this is it. This is like, this is it. This is like you're about to experience like slumper, and also we'll probably get to the other game with the Lions, but like it's like this is it. Like you have to put your best foot forward here, because that would make it what, like 4 or 5 times Mahomes has beaten the Bills in the playoffs.
Hmm.
Like it's like it gets to the point where it's like you gotta put your best foot forward. That's all. We'll say that for the Bills. Like
Yeah.
they got this is the game of our generation that is about to happen.
Hmm.
It's going to be good. It is happening 3:30 PST, right?
Yep, 6:30.
We are going to get one of the good ones. Next, on to what, it's been a while since there's been a really good upset in the NFL. Like, in terms of, like, playoff-wise. It's been a hot minute since I've seen a complete shellacking of an upset. Like, this, I did not think Washington was going to go into Detroit and win that game. Maybe
Oh yeah,
it's
no, I
close.
don't think anyone thought that they were gonna. Sorry to cut you off. I don't think anyone thought that the Commanders were gonna have their way with the Lions. Like that was bad.
Yeah.
And like I just said, because I didn't know we were gonna talk about this game next. I think this was it for the Lions. Your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator are gone. You're losing your staff. Goff is getting older. I don't know. I think he's like 29, but like.
It's still fine. I'm not
He
worried.
is.
I'm not
He's
so
30.
Yet.
30, like, he's getting a little up there, but it's like, and that was just a bad performance for Goff, but it's like, I felt like there's gonna be some tough times. Now, granted, they could come back next season, but yeah, no, I did not expect the Lions to do like that. But I think would have made this loss better if Goff played better. I think it's like you can put it on Goff, but it's like that defense, man. It's hard to you don't want to blame injuries, but like, dude, freaking you and me could have played defense for that Lions team. Like, that defense was absolutely like destroyed with injury. We're to the point where it's like, it's hard to like be like, it's hard to really put the blame on the Lions. It's like, yeah, no, we're not built for a dominant team like the Commanders, and how that offense is with Jaden Daniels. I don't think they were ready for it.
Hmm.
They weren't. It was like
They weren't.
Watch like the thing that just makes it so hard for teams like the Bills too is for the Lions is look at what happened to the Eagles when their coaching staff got completely plucked apart. They took many steps back. There were several steps that they took back. And now Dan Campbell's lost. His entire staff is getting plucked and having to start over and having to teach the guys that you're about to bring in the culture that you've painstakingly created over the past 3 years is something that when I look at, I'm going, I don't know. I think it's going to be, I don't want to say it's going to be one of those regression type seasons because we next year hasn't even started yet. We don't know what the things look like. But the culture that he's assembled is incredible. Like, he still has the locker room. Dan Campbell has that locker room still, no problem. But now the big challenge is everybody in your division is only getting better. And when you come to think of it, when you play the AFC South, yeah, I could just end it there. Cause yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you do want to talk about like the coaching staff and what has been lost for the Lions so far, I mean, just looking at it right now, like, obviously you lost Ben Johnson to the Bears, you lost Aaron Glenn to the Jets, let's see, you just lost JT Barrett, your one of your quarterbacks coach, to the Bears, you lost your wide receiver coach to the Bears, you lost your run game coordinator, your defensive line coach to the Patriots, which granted I know they did get someone from Tampa Bay to replace them, which yeah, Tampa Bay is another team that's losing a lot of coaches, but we'll get to them later. Yeah, the Lions it's tough. Like, it's tough enough when you have to replace, one coordinator. When you're having to replace two coordinators, it's a massive job you have to do if you're Dan Campbell, and having to find everyone to really fill that void in, because it's like, obviously there's the possibility that Campbell nails the hires and that culture, which is still very strong, it keeps going well and the Lions are gonna be just fine. But still, it's a tall order, because I mean we've seen it with teams before. Like, you mentioned the Eagles and how just how much of a disaster 2023 was. A lot of that was because they lost a lot of their coaching staff. I look at like the Ravens, and they lost basically their entire defensive coaching staff last offseason. And granted, their defense wasn't bad, but it clearly wasn't the same defense from 2023. So it's like, I do expect areas where the Lions are going to take a step back. Granted, I expect them to do a lot of, hires from within and all that, or unless they can, bring in some big names elsewhere. But it's brutal. It's very, very brutal for the Lions.
It feels like their window was so short. Basically there felt like their window was 2 years last year and this year. No, 3 years. 3 years. When they beat Green Bay to knock them out of the playoffs last year, and then this year, dude, the Lions were favorites had them go to the Super Bowl, and they showed they could, but just all those injuries, man.
I think the Super Bowl run was lost when Aiden Hutchinson went down. Lions were definitely still had a chance to make the Super Bowl without him, but with the lack of that pass rush, it was going to bite him back eventually. I don't know how much different Dane Daniels is if Hutchinson is in there, but he was given enough time to do what he did. Might be a whole different story if Hutchinson was playing, given how good he was doing.
Yeah. It's just the Lions have become the biggest what if. And I think that's the worst thing you can be as like a team in the NFL.
I don't think
Because
the biggest
they'll be
what if.
back.
I think the biggest what if is still the Vikings.
I think the Lions will still be back. I still think Campbell's a really good coach, and he'll find his right guys. They probably won't be as good as they were this year, but they'll probably make the playoffs, and they may have a chance to make another run. We've seen it with teams like the Bills and Chiefs.
They'll take us. I think next year they'll take a step back in order to take a step forward.
Yeah, I agree there.
Like, I think the Lions they more than have enough talent, especially if they can find a way to not have as many injuries next season. They still have enough talent to get back here. It's just, losing so many guys on the coaching staff is tough for any team, no matter how talented you are. Yeah. And I think with this Lions team, obviously the defense didn't play well, but the Lions have shown before with how their offense has been, like, they could go the distance in a shootout. The problem was, Jared Goff just had his worst game of the season, like even worse than the Texans game, honestly.
The problem with an all offense, no defense team is that well, you're never going to really get that chance to have a shootout kind of game. You still need a defense for at least one playoff game. The Eagles, for example, when they made their Super Bowl run, their one shootout game was the Super Bowl. They could afford that because it was a Super Bowl. But
Yeah.
imagine if the Patriots actually had a sliver of a defense there. Eagles are losing that regardless of how many points they score. Hell, it wasn't even their offense wasn't even the reason they sealed the game. It was that strip sack fumble. It was a
Yes, it
defensive
was.
play, and that's so the Lions, even though they could beat anybody in a shootout, that doesn't mean they're going to win every time. They're guaranteed to lose at least once with how badly injured they were, and it just happened to be against the Commanders this time.
Yeah. And then speaking, just because I like NFL history, speaking of Patriots, mainly Belichick, like, you have to have a defense. Like, think of the 90 Super Bowl with the what's it called? Bills and Giants. Amazing offense the Bills had, but the game plan was, and you know what, Belichick again, and in the Rams Super Bowl, because I keep throwing out just all this facts keep coming to my mind. It's like, you need a defense in those playoff games to limit that offense, because if you get it, because sometimes you can't afford a shootout. Sometimes it's like, we are just not built for this. But if we can keep the game close, there's a chance that just one mistake by the opposing team, that's your chance to go. But if you don't ever afford that chance to capitalize, because your defense, can't stop anything, you're not going to be able to, win the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old term, defense wins championships. And personally for me, just to go on some facts that I always think about when I think of defense versus offense, like, there's two examples that always come into my mind when it just comes to really just the better defense, or really just the defense in general, just making such a big impact in a big, like, Super Bowl game, like a big playoff game and all that. Like, I always think about, like, like Super Bowl 48 between the Seahawks and the Broncos, because you had the number one offense in the Broncos versus the number one defense in the Seahawks. And granted, people were expecting a great game. What we got instead was the Seahawks just absolutely obliterating the Broncos for 60 minutes.
I like that game,
That
by the
was
way.
bad.
That was my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, we know. It's just the thing is with the Lions defense and everything. It's just
They're so injured,
realistically,
dude.
even if they are injured, you can't excuse getting 40 put on your head, even with that injured of the defense. Like, I get it sounds super dumb, but you can't, you just can't. You can't allow that to happen. And it sucks, but, like, simply put, if you have Aiden Hutchinson out there, I mean, what changes? Yeah, you might have a little bit better of a pass rush, but, like,
I think
Is
it would
that-
make a
game plan
difference,
It would
but
make enough of a difference. He's on the. It's
It
the same
would,
equivalent.
but-
I find with Aiden Hutchinson, he's the same equivalent. It's like, can you imagine the Steelers without T.J. Watt on their team? They're useless without T.J. Watt. It's
like-
So I just checked the stats regarding the offense. Only among the top 25 best offenses in the Super Bowl era for a single season, only two have actually won the Super Bowl: the 2009 Saints and the 1999 Rams. Every other team has lost in the playoffs.
What would be the defensive equivalent? So if you take the best defensive team,
Okay,
Um,
let me take a look.
While you think that, just to like, I'll just to, I guess, argue against your point, Taken, a bit, but I do agree. I think if you have those capable weapons on defense, the game plan is different going in. Like, think about like this. Like, think about those Ravens defense. Like, all right, you can't throw over the top because we got Ed Reed right there. That middle pass may be blocked up by Ray Lewis. there's a different game plan when you have those certain pieces. The opposing, thinking like Washington, like if Hutchinson was there, if I can't name their defensive players, but like no, all their best players are there. You go, okay, these are some areas that maybe a little tough to do on because we have, maybe I don't know if Hutchinson plays the left or right, but like running to the right may be a little tough because Hutchinson's there. So game plan's different if you got capable defense, a capable defense. The game plan for the opposing team is different. I say, it's just like
and
here's one last thing about the defense. It's like I know like I talk about the Niners being injured, but like I don't think it's close. I don't think it's the Niners are close to what happening on the Detroit's defense. Like I think they said like a statistic of like 18 like different starters
yeah,
or something
something
like
along
that.
the lines of
It's
that.
like holy hell, that's a lot of injuries. Like damn near every place someone's injured. It's like only so much the defense can do itself. But I think the offense should have done more. But I'll let you go on.
No,
Yeah, I
I
was about
get
to
it. Like,
say. Oh, sorry.
I totally get the point. Like, it's different if they're out there, yeah. But are you gonna say that Aiden Hutchinson is a 10 to 20 point difference? Because personally, I don't think so.
I mean, here's the thing. Like with the Lions' defense, I mean, I think it would definitely make a big difference. Would it be enough though to like really, get the Lions a win? I don't think so. But in this scenario, well, there's also the chance that Goff doesn't make as many mistakes as he makes. But regarding the Lions' defense, it's just the warning signs were there because there were games where the Lions defense just played great. Like the Colts game, they played great. The Vikings game in Week 18, they played great. That's why I think a lot of people, including me, had plenty of confidence in Detroit. But there were warning signs with games like the Bills game and the 49ers game. Like the warning signs were there with the Lions defense.
Right. I get that. I don't know. I just to say that if our entire team was healthy, it's different. Like, yeah, 100% it's different. But I don't think it's that much different.
I also don't think it's that much. It's just the amount of injuries. I just like, god damn, the amount of injuries on that team is like. I feel like this is noticeable when it's like, yeah, 18 different starters.
Yeah. And I will say about Jared Goff, because, I mean, I had, the Lions video, I thought it was a great video. Taegan, you did a great job. Love how it turned out.
Pat on your back.
Yeah,
And
love how it turned out. My theme with Jared Goff is I don't think inconsistent was the right word to describe him. Even though I agree with what you were saying in the video, Taegan, I agree with what you said. I think the thing with Jared Goff is it's less inconsistency because he had a great season, like genuinely one of his best seasons.
That's
He had
why
a
he's
great
in the MVP
season.
talk.
It's just the thing with Jared Goff is it felt like Jared Goff would either play a great game, he would usually play great or good at worst, but there would be a couple games, 3 games in particular this season, where he would just melt down. And it was those games, the 3 games in particular, were the Bucks game in Week 2, the Texans Sunday Night Football game where he threw 5 interceptions, and the Commanders game. The thing with Goff is it's less inconsistency because for the most part he's been a consistently good quarterback as much as it is when he melts down, he just completely loses it. Like he just completely turns into a liability out there. And unfortunately for the Lions, it came at the worst possible time because, well, the defense couldn't stop anything, and Jared Goff was melting down out there, and now you're having to really overcome every mountain possible. And it's worth noting, because you said this in the video, guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra, Laporta, they all did their jobs out there. Like, they all played strong games. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs played an excellent game out there. I mean, he even freaking mocked Kevin Durant out there. So, like, the guys who were having to do their jobs did it. It's just, unfortunately for them, Jared Goff had to
Jared
Pick
Goff
a
came
really
out.
bad time. Yeah, pick a really bad time to become Jared Goof.
Like I said though, I still think inconsistent is what Jared Goff is because he has never been consistent his entire career. He's either been one of the worst quarterbacks in how the fuck did this guy get the job, and oh damn, he actually does look like a first overall pick. Like
I don't.
Damn, I forget that Goff was a first
I
overall
know. I mean,
That's
such a
more
weird
of
thing.
the lines of man. This guy. It's one of those things where there is going to be the long-standing and eternal debate of people are gonna sit down and say, who won the trade, Rams or the Lions? And it's the Rams. They got the Super Bowl, and you have Jared Goff's maddening and frustrating inconsistencies as a player. So
I mean, I still don't think it's inconsistency though. It's just it's more like I don't think inconsistent's the right word as much as it is just Goff has the tendency to melt down. Like it hasn't been as much as it was after like 2018 with the Rams where yeah, he was very inconsistent from like 2019 through 2021, even 2022 even. But it's games like this where I look back at Jared Goff and I see even going back to his previous highs in his career, like 2018, where yeah, he had a great season, but we saw those games where he would melt down, like that Bears game, or of course, the Super Bowl.
it's something to also remind ourselves that Jared Goff in my quarterback rankings, he's a B plus. He's not. I think he's an above average starter. He is somebody that I think if I had Jared Goff as the franchise quarterback, I'd be fine with it. He reminds me a lot of Matt Hasselbeck. In that tier of really great starter, but you're gonna need a lot of help to get you to the Super Bowl. Like, again, you look at how Jared Goff led the Rams to the Super Bowl. You have Cooper Kupp. You have, Todd Gurley before he got hurt. And then you had a great cast on defense. And you had Sean McVay, who really reeled in his offensive utility, who really got him going. Now he has to go next year without Ben Johnson. And that's going to be something that a lot of eyes are going to be on. Is how does he do it without Ben Johnson? And if he struggles with Ben Johnson, with a guy like Jared Goff, you're going to need an offensive-minded per staff member on this roster really helping him break down the plays on the field. And that's just someone who Jared Goff has always been. He just needs a lot of help really dissecting what's out there on the field. We saw how bad he was in his rookie year. We were like, what the hell is this guy doing on the field? Because he never had the proper coaching and utility to really convince people that yes, he is a franchise quarterback. And then you reel it back in when you look at how he does with Sean McVay, where he completely retools his entire mechanics. He looks like an entirely different quarterback. And then he goes to and then he peaks, falls ups and downs, gets traded to the Lions, where again, he's kind of having that same trajectory as a player. So I think this just might be who Jared Goff is. He is much like a valley. He looks amazing, and then you think right now he might have peaked.
Something?
That's a good point.
I'm gonna say it. I still don't think that signing Jared Goff was that great of an idea. It's not that I think he's bad.
Because he's gonna walk in free agency, and then who the fuck are you gonna have? It's the toughest dilemma of all time: to pay my quarterback or not pay the quarterback. And most of the time, you'd rather have the franchise quarterback instead of going out there. So
Yeah.
Well, the
Because
thing
look where
is,
the Saints
though,
are now, though. They paid
Mhm.
for Derek Carr, and now they suck.
Well,
right?
Brock Purdy to the Lions, about to happen, coming soon.
oh good lord.
No,
Brock
the thing
Purdy's
is,
not
though,
going
it's like I'm not
anywhere.
even going to sit here and decredit Goff because he had a good season. But I hope NFL GMs learn that just because you have a guy who's decent enough now does not mean he's the guy that's going to elevate you to that next level. And I think a lot of GMs get scared because it's like, oh, if I don't keep him, then I'm going to lose my job. And you have to take that risk. I get that it sucks
No, because
and
here's the
that it's
thing,
a
Taken, though.
and
If
it's
you're wrong, you lose your
yeah,
job no matter what. And if you're wrong, you set the team back. I'd rather
yeah,
my
I get
franchise
that.
quarterback has a small step back than letting him walk in free agency. And the guy who I signed is nowhere near the same level that Jared Goff played at.
Right,
Right.
100%. I get that. I'm just saying, I don't think it's the entirely like don't think it's just a done deal decision anymore. Like we need to stop paying good quarterbacks great quarterback money.
That's the
Like here's
market,
the
though.
Mm,
thing.
That's the market,
Yeah,
though.
I know it's
yeah,
the
it is the
market.
market.
It's
It's the
like
way it
you're
works.
gonna tell Jared again. The goal of an agent's job. You let Jared Goff walk. He's getting that money somewhere else, and then you're stuck. You're stuck without a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The thing.
Unless you want to try and trade for a draft pick, but then you got a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
No,
It's
I get
Mm.
it's
that.
not
Like
that
I
you
get
gotta
Plus, it's
stop
hard.
paying average quarterbacks elite money. Yeah, but is that going to happen? No, it hasn't happened
No.
in years. Guy, like
here's
Jared Goff was the first quarterback to be ridiculously overpaid. If you really want to break it down, because
no,
again, there are teams that break the market like that. Look at what Jacksonville did when they signed the wide receiver. They signed, was it
Christian
Kirk?
Kirk.
Yeah, Christian
Christian
Kirk.
yeah,
Kirk.
no,
To
I get it.
a deal that was like, wait, he wasn't even worth that much deal. That all of a sudden, like you're not gonna, what do you think's gonna happen when, if who did Malik Neighbors, right? Or is it who did the Bears?
Brian
do?
Thomas Jr. Oh no, not Brian Thomas. That's Jacksonville.
Bears.
Um,
It's not
are
Neighbors.
you talking quarterback or receiver?
Receiver.
Oh, a Duvernay.
Dusnay, right? Imagine if Romo Dusnay is like, oh, no, better example. Jackson Smith and Nick We'll talk about my team. He had a breakout season. Do you want to know what he's going to be getting paid at minimum? Say he just produces
He'll get
like
paid
a
20
Tyler
mil.
Lockett-esque season. He's going to be getting paid at minimum $27 million on the market. At minimum. You can't go because
20 mil.
he's a
20
number
mil's the
one wide
market
receiver
right
for a
now.
team right now.
No,
Here's the
20
thing,
mil's
Taegan,
more
I
the
get what
market
you're
right
saying. Like, Taegan, I get what you're saying about the quarterback conversation. Like, I get it. It's just, I don't really like Goff as the example because I think there's a much better example in the NFC North that's that I think can be used.
Okay,
Dude,
Jordan
Sam
Love.
Darnold's about to cash in and he's gonna fall off the map.
Yeah, I was
No,
talking about Jordan Love.
Oh, I thought you
Jordan
meant like
Love.
currently.
I'm gonna need one more year for Jordan Love. I'm gonna need
Well,
another
Jordan
year.
Love's like where I'm
Yeah.
like, I feel like you should have waited one more year with Jordan Love,
I
but
think
obviously that's the done deal.
I can agree that again, do you have an option for like saying a Geno Smith type deal where it's like you're still making $25 million per year, fully guarantee that contract. You still, again, he still has round one money, which is a shitload of money. But if you do well, like you're midway through that deal, you're gonna say, you know what? I took a team-friendly deal. Dak Prescott's getting $60 million per year. Pay up, right? It's stuff like that. I don't think nobody does bridge deals anymore. It's you have because the NFL is such a dangerous game. It is a game where, again, as much as I hate to say this person's name, Deshaun Cosby, dudes cashed in, and because of Deshaun Cosby, everybody is going to be fighting for a fully guaranteed contract. Because as much as we are like, take the allegations out of Deshaun Watson for a second. That guy has had 3 injury-riddled seasons, and he's made the he's like I would consider a generational bag securer. That I hope he loses all his money in a pump and dump scheme. But like, that's what the quarterback market is going to be right now, because guys are going to be like, Deshaun Watson's god awful, and his contract is fully guaranteed, $50 million per year. I deserve that. It's the market. You're not going to go, well, this guy isn't as good, we're not going to pay him as much. Somebody is going to pay him, and if you would, again, losing a B+ quarterback for nothing is the worst move you could make. Potentially, Seattle is at a major crossroads. They're going to go through that is, do we pay Geno Smith or do we not pay Geno Smith? Because if they don't pay Geno Smith and they don't have the quarterback, lined up, guess what happens? They are set back years, and the work that Mike McDonald has done, gone in a snap of your fingers, right? If you are wrong by letting a B-tier quarterback or higher simply walk. The Vikings are incredibly lucky right now. They let Kirk Cousins, he's a B walk. But guess what? They managed, because Kevin O'Connell is a phenomenal head coach. They got Sam Darnold to work, and they have a potential great quarterback in J.J. McCarthy lined up. I really hope he studied that playbook. I really hope he has, because if he hasn't, if he flops year 2, I'm labeling him as an instant bust, because you got to be studying that playbook. But the point is, it's the market. Guys are going to cash in.
Yeah, I know it's the market. I'm not saying I don't know what it is. I'm just saying, for more or less, that hopefully in the future these teams realize that paying these B quarterbacks is not successful in winning a Super Bowl compared to going out, developing, and drafting a guy.
Well, the problem is when a team feels like they're a quarterback away, they're going to pay that money. It is the market right now. And you're not a B+ quarterback is not just going to sit around in free agency forever. Like, Sam Darnold is going to get paid I think at least $45 million per year and have at least 2 years guaranteed. I think at the very minimum. I don't think he's worth that. I think he's somebody where you love a Geno Smith, that type deal where he takes a 3-year, $95 million, you guarantee 2 years. But that's just not the market. Your guys are not going to sign anything less for what they are worth. And again, I feel like I hear you, but like, it's the market. No one's going to take for what they're worth, and no one should be taking less for what they are worth. When it's time to cash in, it is time to cash in.
Yeah, I wanted to add, I think it really does depend, though, on, we mentioned how, if they're not going to pay them, then they would probably look at something like the draft or something. And to that I say, yeah, that's a good point, but it obviously depends on how does, the quarterback draft class look, because, of course, not every quarterback draft class is the same as, the other. Like, there will be great years, phenomenal years where we see a phenomenal quarterback class show up, and it's like, you really can't miss with this class. But then there's other years where it's like, well, there's really 2 guys here that's really worth it, and then there's other years where it's a real dry spell. So it's like, it really does depend on the timing of it, and that's something that plays a massive role into these decisions, because there's probably some moves that have gotten made over the years regarding quarterbacks where if it was in a different year or at a different place in time, those moves probably don't get made.
Absolutely. Like, you can.
In the end of the day, QBs are hard. It's hard to find the guy.
Oh
Yeah,
but
I get it.
Speaking of QBs, let's give some props to Jaden Daniels and the Commanders.
Dude,
Talk shit about
Daniels, this class is absolutely amazing. The fact that, like, next year's going to be like the real test of it, because you're going to have Penix starting. You're going to have Caleb Williams with the right coaching staff. He has everything he needs to succeed. It's all on Caleb Williams next year. Drake May, it's the Patriots doing the Patriot way. We're so sorry, Drake May. But you're also going to see J.J. McCarthy, right? And if 5 of those guys, this group is 5 of 6. it will go down as be one of the best draft quarterback classes of all time, and something that many scouts have told us that the Caleb Williams draft year was the best year for quarterbacks that they have seen in a while, to produce 5 quality starting quarterbacks. Now we got one more year. We're going to wait a year. But it shows how special this group has been. Jaden Daniels has been absolutely amazing. Like, we didn't have to do the whole joke of, yo fam, I'm going to wait till the last 2 minutes to pull something out of my ass. Nah, he was dominant from the get-go. I think they have the right coaching staff around him. Dan Quinn knows exactly what to do, because they did the same thing with Russell Wilson, who had, again, it has that kind of clutch gene inside of him where the very last few minutes, he's going to pull something out of his butt. And one of the things that during his peak with Seattle, he led the NFL in comebacks when trailing in the 4th quarter. He did that. And so to see Jaden Daniels have that success is well done. I'm happy for the Commanders because, you go down the rabbit hole. There's so many former Seahawks that are playing for the team and are also on the coaching staff, which is quite nice to see.
Yeah, and regarding Jaden Daniels, I think the good thing for Jaden is, he's probably going to have a lot more time than someone usually would have with their offensive coordinator, considering, Cliff Kingsbury is much more valued as an offensive coordinator than a head coach. So the fact that, he's going to get to have that more time with him after the great rookie season that we've seen up to this point, that's awesome for Jaden. And simply put, I feel like this Lions game, for as many great games as Jaden Daniels has had in his rookie season, this Lions game was his true magnum opus.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say something extremely random for no reason. I just pose a random question. Is it bad to be too good too early? And what I mean by that is Danny Janus has the chance to make history, be the first rookie quarterback to start a Super Bowl. Let's say hypothetically he gets to the Super Bowl and wins it. How would you feel if he never reached that peak again? I'm not preying on his downfall. I'm just saying, what if he never reaches,
it depends.
He never gets back to
When
a
you
Super
still
Bowl.
win a
here's
Super Bowl, it's
here's
worth
the
it
thing.
at that point.
If he wins the
I'm
Super
also
Bowl
gonna say
year
right
one,
here,
then he can't be a bust. He can never be a bust.
Never be a
Like, that's-
bust.
I want to
No,
but
he can't.
I want to say right. Okay.
Go
No,
say
go ahead.
it. No, you say it.
All right. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I don't think that hypothetical is going to happen at all. I think Washington's road ends here. Eagles are just too complete. Even with the hypothetical in mind, I just don't see it happening. I just don't.
That's fair.
I will say the Commanders have a better chance to beat the Eagles than the Bills have to do against the Chiefs. Because the thing that holds the Eagles back is Nick Sirianni. I'm not sold on that man yet. I think he's really heavily carried by a lot of great talent, and he's found, yet again, assistants that are doing a fantastic job.
You know what? That's a fair point. My issue with the Commanders is their defense. I think their offense can compete with the Eagles. I mean, we've seen them compete with the Eagles. We've seen them compete with a lot of teams, but the Eagles, I think the Eagles I just don't think the Commanders have a great defense. Of course, we do need to mention the Commanders comeback game where the Commanders had 5 turnovers and still won. But I feel like there's a catch, as Jalen Hurts wasn't there for most of that game. Because with Jalen Hurts, they were rocking.
Yeah.
My thing with the Commanders is when the key matchup for this one is going to be Saquon Barkley. He is the key ingredient in all of this. I think he's going to have a massive game, but the thing is he's being held back is Nick Sirianni. That's why I'm not sold on the Eagles this week.
We'll see. I can be wrong.
This feels like a
100%
this feels
right.
like a good transition point. This does feel like a good transition point from the Commanders Lions game to the Rams Eagles game, because it is worth noting what you said about that, because Saquon had another phenomenal game against the
he had his
Rams.
Shady McCoy
First 200
skill
yards
game.
run by an Eagles running back in a playoff game.
If only they weren't
Yeah.
held back by Nick Sirianni.
Yeah,
And
how did they almost blow that? How did they almost blow that?
Dude,
I
I was
thought it was
praying. We
over.
were all praying. I forgot who all was in with us. We were all praying for a Rams win.
Like, the thing that just makes me... That's not going to make me sleep at night as a team that is fan of a team that's in the NFC West. The St. Louis Rams signed Sam Darnold to a contract. I will have cold sweats the entire night because Sam Darnold goes from a great coach to a phenomenal great coach. Me eating, me celebrating is the day that Sean McVay accepts a
To quote our friend Carsausage, "You cannot stop the inevitable Project Sam Darnold."
the thing too is the only place I see Sam Darnold working is the Rams.
That money.
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
see him working anywhere else. If the
Sam
Rams
Darnold
decide
choked away
not
that-
to take the
all that
Darnold,
money.
I'm doing cartwheels. I'm celebrating. But
Can I just
Sean
say
Mc-
real quick about the Rams? Can I just say real quick?
Mhm.
I know that, yeah, there was some things that didn't go well for him, and he did have that fumble. Granted, wasn't the only one to fumble, but I really don't think that game was on Matthew Stafford. I don't think the Rams lost because of him. I mean, Stafford is definitely not at, his best years. Like, Stafford's not bad by any means, but it's clear that he's getting up there. It's very clear, but it's just, I don't know, the Rams.
What do the Rams have next season?
They'll have something in the mid-20s, and the thing is, Mr. President, the St. Louis Rams have nailed another draft class.
Yeah, they have
Fuck.
26. Number 26.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't saying it's time to start thinking QB, but Rams. But it's like, yeah, no.
The answer is,
Hey, listen,
you take
they-
Darnold and cut Stafford. Stafford doesn't have guaranteed money left.
Hey, Brock Purdy to the Rams.
It'd be funny, but it's not gonna. Brock Purdy's gonna make so much money for the Niners. He's gonna get paid a shitload of money.
11 people left. Let's go.
He's gonna get.
I'll
paid.
say
by the way-
Brock Purdy bought his entire offensive lineman. Something I could not give five shits about. He deserves, dude. He's such a good guy. He should get paid $70 million. Oh please. People should know the context. I fucking hate the Rams. I mean the Niners. I fucking hate the Niners.
Hey, tune in whenever I decide to actually be a good boy and actually learn how to edit stuff. Anyways, what game are we talking about?
Oh.
Rams Eagles.
We were
Oh yeah.
we were doing Rams Eagles, but honestly, I feel like this kind of feels like a transition to talking about. Given we've talked about the Commanders and the Eagles, it kind of feels like, we can kind of talk about that because, I don't know. It's like, you did mention that, Noah mentioned the Commanders defense, and Luke mentioned Saquon Barkley, and those two will be an interesting combination because the Commanders have had one of the worst run defenses in football. And even with how many turnovers they got last week against the Lions, that run defense still really struggled against Jahmyr Gibbs. And considering how this is in Philadelphia, considering how Saquon looked, he looked last week, I'm pretty sure Saquon is going to be the make or break factor in this game for whoever wins this game. How Saquon does will really say a lot.
Let me make one thing clear again. This is no disrespect to Jane Daniels. He is an excellent quarterback. He's very likely the rookie of the year and well deserved. I just don't think the Commanders are quite ready yet. But they're on the up and up. They'll get there eventually.
Yep.
And the other thing I want to
I can agree with that. I just think
Go on, Nick.
just the Eagles coach wasn't a douchebag like Nick Sirianni, I would
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
believe
gonna
him
say,
much
like,
more.
here's the thing. Sirianni is Nick Sirianni. He is still the arrogant douchebag that is very, very
You should
punchable.
Chiefs fans. It's like,
I will
come on, dude.
Yeah, I will also say though, I also feel like a lot of criticism definitely needs to be given to Kellen Moore as well, because that play call on that second down, like right before the Rams had one more chance, that was really bad. I don't know why you just didn't give Saquon another run there, but Moore deserves some genuine criticism as well. But I think what's really going to be big for this Eagles Commanders game, like outside of Saquon and how the offense does, just I think we can all agree it is very evident that Jalen Hurts is not close to 100%. Like he does not look 100% out there.
yeah, that.
Yeah, Jalen. I mean, I can't really speak too much. Even though I watched the game, I'm not analytical on Jalen Hurts like that. But it's like, yeah, no, Hurts. Hey, that's why I was like, dude, Hurts was gonna play it with the concussion. Not will play with the concussion, but it was like, even with whatever concussion protocols, like he's gonna play the football game.
Mhm.
I don't know how many turnovers he had. Like I don't remember like that much about the game in terms of like, all right, was Jalen Hurts the reason why they didn't blow out the Rams? But yeah, no. So if they shut down Saquon, Jalen Hurts needs to like lock in. And if Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts doesn't lock in, it may be bad because, you know, I'm gonna be real. I was kind of biased, preying on the Eagles' downfall, for just hate watching for the love of the game. But you know, they found a way. They found a way to win, or to prevent the what's it called, Rams to win. But
Yeah.
again, I just remember one point. It's like the thing with the Chiefs. These teams, if you're dominant, you need to put an end to this game. Some stuff like in the game, the Rams shouldn't have had a chance to go downfield and steal the game away. If you like, I don't know. Maybe it's like, if you're a good team, you should be expected to put this game away. Not saying all the games have to be blowouts, but it's like, the Rams should have never had a chance to be in that position to
Yeah.
steal the game from you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just I think the other big point is how will Daniels do against the Eagles defense? Because I definitely think just not having
What was the record? What was the split? What was the series in the regular season?
1-1 because the Commanders won. The Commanders beat the Eagles during the Kenny Pickett game, and the Eagles beat the Commanders on Thursday Night Football.
Do you remember the score of that Thursday Night Football game?
It was 26-18.
Scores deceiving though. That was incredibly close until the 4th and 2 conversion was stopped. From there, that was when he took over.
So given that, because again, we're not going to count the Kenny Pickett game because Kenny Pickett, and that was what week was that?
That was like I'm pretty sure that was
16, 17.
no, that was the Pickett game. I'm pretty sure this was either like week 10 or week 11, the Thursday night game.
So and now the Commanders are in prime, like we're the best team in the National Football League mode. I think this is I think it's a different team that the Eagles are facing now. Like they have their destiny is in their hands. They control their path right now. Like I know that sounds weird because they're in the playoffs, but it's like this team is rolling. They are on a roll. They just beat the top seeded Lions. The team expected to go to the Super Bowl and win it. They dominated them. Like they are on a roll. And if the Lions are apparently a better team than the Eagles, like just saying, like if hypothetically, if like they were like, and like if you compare the both, it's like the Lions are better than the Eagles, and you just steamrolled that team. I know they're in Philly, but sometimes you can't stop a running train when it's already on the tracks.
You can't stop a team of destiny.
Can I just say,
go on, Taegan.
Jalen Hurts, we all give Lamar shit about being in the playoffs, but we need to give Jalen Hurts shit about being in the playoffs because this motherfucker does nothing and wins games. if the Commanders force Jalen Hurts to throw the ball, the Commanders win that game. I do not care what anyone says.
Oh yeah,
If
no,
Jalen Hurts
shut
has to
down.
throw 300 yards, he's losing. Like
Yes, no,
he,
that's what I'm saying. Shut down Saquon. Like if they shut down Saquon and force the game, and Hurts is still battling a concussion or whatnot, like he's not 100%. Like history, like are the Commanders the team of destiny? Are they the record breakers?
It is
Yeah,
the big
it's
question.
it's just
So
I see a lot of people hype up the Eagles, and they have a good roster, but people forget that this is the team that got fucking one-tapped
oh
by
yeah,
the
no, oh yeah, no.
Buccaneers last year.
Listen, I because I have a manager who's an Eagles fan. I will nonstop bring up 32-9. I'm like, this Eagles team, like that Super Bowl run, great. Then Matt Patricia happened, and then Zach Wilson happened. Like,
But like,
then the fall off of last year, and then this year, where it's like, are they good? Are they not good? Like, what the hell are you? Do you have an identity?
I think they do. I think they are easily better off than they were last year. Just it feels like the one. I feel like we're all thinking like the same constant is there. To me, Jalen Hurts, it's a B plus right now. I think he's not playing towards the ceiling, and if he's somebody that is hurt, you can kind of go just to like how we all looked at the Detroit Lions game. It might be, you don't want to say it's necessarily over before anything is thrown, but like it's going to come down to Saquon Barkley. If Saquon has a classic Saquon Barkley game, I think this is a quick and easy Eagles win. But if the Commanders can keep it close, and if the Commanders can pull out ahead like we all saw last game, I think this is... I wouldn't be surprised to see either team. I think this is much closer than we're giving, credit for. I think this is much closer than the Bills and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
This is
I
just
just-
to say.
here's
just to say. I just want to say that this is the Sunday of narratives. Will narratives be shaped? Narratives will be shaped. They will be broken. They will be written. This Sunday will prove everything that we want to know about these teams. What kind of teams we're dealing with. But go on.
Yeah, it's just, I was gonna say, like, it's just the difference. If I was like, this is my last thing about the Eagles, like, what is different about this Eagles team compared to last season? I think the two big things that are different are, well, number one, they have Saquon, and Saquon is, having the season of his life. Like, genuinely, he's having such an incredible season for a guy who really needed a change and got away from the derp of New Jersey to join the Eagles and do as well as he has. It's been massive for the Eagles. But I think the other thing that's like, how come the Eagles, even though they are still coached by Nick Sirianni, even though they have games like they had against the Rams where it's like, how did you almost lose that? It feels like that hasn't happened as much this season, where there's been a lot more games this year where the Eagles have just taken care of competition. And I think a big reason for that is their defense is just so much better this year, and it's way more tougher. Like, this is a very physical, very tough Eagles defense, and I think a lot of that is because the Eagles did a great job drafting a lot of those replacements on the defense, and having Vic Fangio as your defensive coordinator, it's done wonders for the Eagles.
Straight
So
killers
Saquon-
on defense.
Especially when
Yeah, so
compared to how
Saquon-
to their coordinator last year. Oh my God, why was Matt Patricia employed?
Okay, I'm sorry to break this, but like, why was Matt Patricia named the defensive coordinator? Like, what happened? Like, why?
Yeah,
I,
it
like,
was
I
it
don't
was
remember
bad.
like why, like if someone got like fired or hired somewhere, but
Yeah,
it's like,
someone got fired. I know he was.
I guess.
and then they got worse.
I think it was Desai who got fired.
Yeah, Desai.
Dude,
Desai
when
was
Matt
the one who got
Patricia when Matt
fired.
Patricia got hired, I was like, or not hired, but like named the roles. Like, what the fuck are they doing? And then god, dude. The 2023 Eagles are so funny.
Really.
They're so funny, dude.
Mhm.
Anyways, God, yeah, narratives will be shaped, written, whatever. Do we have any more games that
Yeah,
happen?
speaking of bird teams being funny, Ravens Bills.
Oh
Um,
God,
What
I think
football
turnovers does
is
to
back.
a team.
and I'm going to
Sorry,
say this
Mark.
right now. To the people online, this is just a public service announcement. To the people online who are upset about the game, I understand. But to the people online that are putting that stuff about Mark Andrews,
Yeah, no,
you have
NFL
gone
fans
way
suck.
too far. You have gone way too far gone. The only way to fix this ever in your lifetime is to simply put, look at yourself, get therapy, uninstall Twitter, and look in yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how horrible of a person you are. The fact of the matter that someone like that would go out there and do that, I have no sympathy and no respect for you. If you do that, go fuck yourself. And truly, you are some of the biggest scum on the earth. Now, to get back into the game real quick, side little tangent over. Um, Legitimately, it's not even just a case of like Lamar was bad, because Lamar, did he had an amazing game? No, but he put himself into positions to win the game. And if they get that 2 point conversion, it's a completely different game. But it's ifs then. I will say this,
Yeah.
I think officially the Lamar is a playoff choker narratives need to die. Because it's not Lamar's fault that Mark Andrews dropped that touchdown.
He did have that one fumble though.
I'm not saying it's Lamar's fault. I don't think putting Lamar as a playoff joker is fair. But the thing that kind of brings up over and over again is, I think, again, Lamar Jackson is, I believe, like, to be the Peyton Manning of our generation. He is, it takes a while. Like, he wants to do well too, but the thing is, he had some fumbles and interceptions too. If he's going to continue the path of just blaming guys around him, and it seems like he was super pissed off at Mark Andrews for not making that catch, I mean, you got to look yourself in the mirror too. You also had some critical mistakes inside the red zone that you had done as well. It's not less to use the words that he's a playoff choker. It's more of, he's gonna have his moments, but like, it's a reminder for him that in order for him to win games, you have to be perfect. You have to. It's a reminder that of how horrible the NFL is, of what happens when you are not perfect. And again, we learned this watching the college football playoff too. What happens when your team isn't perfect? What happens? You lose games. Perfection is the team that makes the less mistakes are going to win games like that. Lamar made too many mistakes. Mark Andrews made too many mistakes. The goal needs to be focused on playing perfect football. Be the one that makes the other guy flinch first. Don't be the flinchy, be the flincher.
Mm-hmm. And it has to be said, like, you just, like, we've seen teams where they commit a lot of turnovers in the regular season, and they can find ways to win games. But in the playoffs, that's just not gonna fly. It's not gonna fly when, you lose the ball that many times. And, the Ravens had 3 turnovers, 2 on fumbles, 1 on an interception. That's just not gonna fly, especially when, the Ravens, they outgained the Bills by like well over 100 yards. They had, control, especially in the second half, where it's like the Ravens could do what they gotta do to win this game, and they got close, but
Yeah.
it obviously, we look back at it and it's like, you shouldn't have committed those turnovers. You don't commit those turnovers, chances are you win this game.
And to be the not the contrary, but so not everything is dogging on the Ravens. I just pulled up the score. The Bills only scored 6 points in the second half. Hey Bills, hey buddy, great team, great quarterback by the way. So when you play a football team who's very good and is gunning for the same thing you are, I think you need to put the foot on the gas a bit more. I said this while we were watching the game. I don't think they should have kicked the field goal. I think they should have went for it on 4th down. Just it's like there's the safe option and then there's what happened. Um let's say not the Eagles, God. The Bills get that touchdown. The game's almost out of reach. But kicking a field goal and still giving your opposition still close game a chance to go downfield and like tie it up. I just think sometimes you got to be a little bit more aggressive. I don't know what words I'm saying. You just gotta be more aggressive. Because again, the Ravens should have never had that chance to score that touchdown and get that 2-point. That should have never happened. I think the Bills need to be more aggressive coming up in this game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If there's anything to say, it's like I get why they did it. It's just, knowing that the Ravens went down there and, did that and were basically a Mark Andrews drop away from tying the game up. Obviously, that does put you on edge. 'Cause it's like, well, damn, that was that's not what we wanted to have happen there. But damn.
Yeah, and I mean, thankfully the Bills Mafia, they're I think the funniest fan base in the entire NFL, but they also have like genuine good hearts. Like they've probably done a lot of stuff for other players' charity work. They did stuff for Mark Andrews, which is something that needs to be commended. It's a thing with, at the end of the day, with Mark Andrews, I'm putting my hand on his shoulder. You gotta make that catch, man. That's no death threats, no nothing. That is a routine play that you often practice. That's right in your fingertips. You have to catch that. It sucks, but that's always going to be what ifs, and the more what ifs that are left in terms of in terms of just football in general, it's the more I feel like the more questions that are put in place rather than answered. Yeah, catch my meaning.
Football just means more.
I will say this real quick about the Bills. I think this is Allen's make or break. If he doesn't get past here, I think it's just gonna fucking tank him.
Oh yeah, that's why I said this is the year. This is the Sunday for narratives. Like,
not necessarily for Allen and Mahomes. It's going to be the same time as, like, I feel like you can argue you have two Peyton Mannings, two quarterbacks that are like Peyton Manning that have to get by Patrick Mahomes, CC Tom Brady, right? It's just you have to be so much better if you want to make it past Mahomes. You have to be better than perfect. That's been the same established thing that's been established. And the thing is that it could be a day where Josh Allen plays a perfect game. 0 mistakes. The Bills make 0 mistakes. But because the Chiefs know how to play everybody so tight the entire season, Chiefs pull away with the win, I'm not going to be so surprised. Right? I think it's a narrative for one game, but for this game, it's just going to be, you could be perfect, everything could go your way, doesn't matter, Chiefs in 5.
I just wish there wasn't a factor of the refs. Like it's I hate doing the ref thing, but it's like, hey, that's like
How do we
that's
get?
Look,
bad. That
Look,
officiating is bad.
it came out that the Chiefs get more favorable calls, but that's not to say that all those calls can't be overcome. All I'm gonna say is for Chiefs is that Mahomes has played this bad this season,
He's played
but if he
bad. He's
makes a
about to
Super
win his
Bowl,
third Super Bowl.
I think that says a lot about the NFL and how fucked it is. We need the NFC teams to start rising up and doing some shit rather than 10 of the
Seven.
teams be fucking.
7 straight. Sorry to cut. Just 7 straight AFC Championship games for the uh Chiefs. 7 straight.
Hello, Tom Brady 2.0.
It's just
God.
It's never over.
I don't.
here's the
Right,
thing though.
never
I
ends.
don't
I don't
think
think.
I don't.
Randomly, I don't think Mahomes is gonna get Tom Brady's. It's gonna get at Tom Brady's stature.
Dude, he's
I
gonna
will.
have his
I'm
third.
going
If
to.
he wins 3, then you're good, and at least you're gonna be in. Because I think Tom Brady created the Tom Brady tier. He alone created it. Patrick Mahomes wins his third Super Bowl. He's gonna be in the same, uttered in the same sentence as Joe Montana.
Yeah, 4th Super Bowl.
Can I just say this though?
Oh,
Sure.
fourth.
Who's to say that once Andy Reid's gone, Mahomes' ability doesn't tank a bit?
Oh, you know that's
Like
what that's what I'm, that's
we
what I
forget
think.
the fact that Andy Reid is like 70 something.
No, I completely agree. That's why I said I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's gonna get to Brady's level because Andy Reid is like that old. You know, Andy Reid probably got like, how old was he? Like you said, 70 something. He got like 3 more years in him,
But
and he's
like the
gonna hang it
thing
up.
is,
Fucking-
if
But he has.
if he wins ring number 4, I mean, I think 5
Reed
is
is
enough
already
for
Oh
on
me.
no, he's 66. Andy Reid's 66. Fuck, we got 10 more years of this
Oh yeah,
shit.
never mind. We got a bit. Either way, dude, Andy Reid is already a Hall of Fame coach. You know, he can hang it up anytime he wants, and he's getting in the. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I mean, look
Yeah.
at
I
the
don't know if
Of
coaches
culture
get
he's
first ballot,
created.
but like,
The only
like-
the thing that I feel like is so different from now is between Belichick is, you know, Belichick, people were nipping at the chance to sign Belichick's underlings. There was Matt Nagy, and that's where it all ends.
Matt Nagy, Eric Bieniemy on
Eric
the Commanders
Bieniemy
for
never
one
became a
season.
head coach.
Yeah, I know.
Candidate,
I mean, like
never a
as
head coach.
I know. I'm just saying, as a addition off that, like Eric Bieniemy left, and he was on the Commanders. Now he left to UCLA.
He's a free agent. I don't know where the fuck he is now. He's no longer OC at UCLA. He got fired.
Yeah.
It's the point that I'm
Also-
trying to make. Like the Belichick coaching tree. Bill O'Brien, Matt Patricia. You had the fucking Josh
the Raiders
McDonald,
guy.
Josh
Yeah, that guy.
McDaniels, Joe Judge. So many guys off the coaching tree. His current iteration of the Andy Reid tree with guys that have played for the Chiefs, it is Matt Nagy, and that's it. Like his assistants don't want to leave Kansas City. They know how good they got it.
Yeah, I just you know. On
We
the
all want Mahomes to lose, but I'm gonna believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
'cause
believe it when I see it.
My
I'm
picks this
praying-
weekend are Chiefs and Commanders. I think that's my Super Bowl matchup.
You know, I'm saying because bias. See, I'm saying Bills. I guess we're just saying our picks. Bills, Commanders.
Bills, Eagles.
I hope I'm wrong because this Super Bowl would be absolutely insufferable. But Chiefs, Eagles.
We don't say this with pride in our voice. We say this with pain.
Say this with pain.
Jugger,
It'll be
Noah, who do you guys have?
That's so true, bestie.
Uh-oh.
They will.
Noah.
No, Noah. He's dead. No!
No!
Not Noah!
No.
I'm pretty sure we'll get the DMs, but yeah, this should be. I think it's quite be an interesting championship week. 3 games remain, and then
3 more
7
games.
weeks of no football. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. 7 whole weeks without football.
Months. Or
I'm
No, he's a filthy UFL enjoyer.
Taegan, which means you're a filthy UFL enjoyer.
Sure, let's go with that. Anywho, normally this is where we get some stuff going, but there's been a little bit more in the NFL world. In the craziest news, oh my fucking god, the Dallas
All in
Cowboys
my
are fucking frauds. Ryan Schottenheimer.
Jugger, okay, now you took Jugger. What are your picks?
Deal.
Oh, my picks for
Super
AFC
Bowl.
Championship game?
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
No, for Super Bowl.
Oh, also,
Because
you're
we
probably
deserve
gonna
no
have to...
nice things, we're going to get Eagles Chiefs.
Also, if you can type your
rematch.
picks in the group chat,
Welcome
so
to
I
the
can just
club.
add it to the doc.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club, Jugger. I gotta say though, I think frauds is being kind to the Cowboys. Dumbasses is a better way to describe them, because
All
what the hell is
in
this?
Jerry
my
Jones,
ass.
you senile grandpa, go to the retirement home already. He is going to ruin the Cowboys. He is going to Raiderify this team so fast.
What's up,
He's
Taegan?
becoming late stage Al Davis.
You want
basically.
you want to know something sad? Every single coach that's hired right now is a better pick than him, and I'd even argue that the Saints without a coach is a better pick than him.
Yeah.
The Saints have no head coach right now, and they currently have the 6th best coaching hire so far.
Yeah, okay, I don't know this guy. I don't know who this Schottenheimer guy is, so give me a brief history of him.
Oh, he was an
he was-
OC for Seattle. We hated him.
All I
he
know
was
is
the
that
OC
someone...
for the Cowboys. He was the OC for the Cowboys last season, but here's the thing: he was OC in name only because he didn't call plays. So this man is basically elevating like a fucking quarterback coach to be your head coach.
all
Jerry
in
Jones,
my ass.
I-
Again, Jerry Jones, like, not fucking... Sorry. Not starting Cooper Rush so he doesn't get his bonus. Come on, dude. You're like $1 billion, dude. Just pay Cooper Rush, man. You didn't... Why? Why would you do that? Why would you start... Dude, the Cowboys are such a weird football team.
Cause like normally, cause like
I'm
you're
gonna trade for Trey
absolutely-
Lance and then do absolutely nothing with Trey Lance.
Because Trey Lance isn't a starting quarterback. Did you not see the preseason? We know this already.
It's still like...
The thing
Listen,
is, I
you
don't
wanna
mind
talk about
trying to see if you
stupid? You
have
wanna
something
talk about-
to find something in Trey Lance. That's fine. But like, the current iteration of the Dallas Cowboys is the biggest joke in football. You
All
wait
in.
so long, and you know it's time for me to get fired up. You imbeciles wait so long to sign Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb to their contract extensions, to drum up some narratives, to drum up to like... we all knew he was going to always sign to the money that they always wanted. He drummed it up for the media. Same thing with Mike McCarthy. It's you waited till the last minute. Mike calls out your bullshit, and he leaves. And now you're left with what? Brian Schottenheimer or Kellen Moore? Jerry Jones?
Luke.
Are you fucking kidding me? Those are your options? You're not going to... like. Here's the thing. I know Ben Johnson 1,000,000% is off the table. But, like, at this point, I would rather you've just gone and say, hey, Jason Garrett, want to coach this team again?
All in my ass.
Like, you gotta
Hey,
consider,
Luke,
this is the
Luke.
same man. This is the same man that traded a 4th round pick or Jonathan Mingo at this year's
No.
trade deadline.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say this real quick. Luke, do you perhaps like it all in your ass?
No.
You
All
heard it
in
here
my
first.
ass.
I'm
I just
gonna press my PPA.
All in.
S-
That's all I
no
gotta say. Just all
spritz.
in my ass, dude.
My personal protection.
Oh yeah, but that's not even the
alarm.
only hire the Cowboys made because yes, they've hired Mr. Matt Eberflus as their defensive coordinator, and before anyone says anything, I have to say this right off the bat. The Dallas Cowboys play the Chicago Bears next season in Chicago.
Oh god,
Here's the thing.
Eberflus is going to be killed.
Why didn't just the Cowboys make Matt Eberflus the head coach then? Like, he's a better option than Brian Schottenheimer.
Holy shit, the Niners hired Robert Saleh as their DC?
I'm not
Yes.
surprised.
You know, one of the most confusing things about this hire weren't they scouting Primetime himself, Deion Sanders, for a while?
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's something that I completely forgot. Yeah. Cause here's the thing. We are here at the podcast are really good friends with Draw Play Dave. We all had a grand old time previewing the Cowboys. That was a beautiful time to behold. We almost foresaw the greatest and funniest sequence of events that are the most greatest what ifs that could have happened. Can you imagine if Deion Sanders was coaching this team? And we all were going to guess that, you know what would have been really hilarious? If if they gave everything, all the next 2 years of draft picks to try to get GT, Hunter, Shadur, and Shiloh to play for this team. Could you we could all see the Cowboys doing this kind of stupid stuff. But man, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day for the Cowboys, for Mr. Jerry Boy, buddy, go to a retirement home already. He's going, again, the Cowboys alone, I think, are a great team. What's been the one person that has held the Cowboys back for so long? It is Jerry Jones. And again, very much like the Raiders, right? The final days of Al Davis, right? He did a lot of stupid moves and a lot of senile stuff, right? I think the Cowboys I would not be remiss to assume that the Cowboys are going to be the next Raiders of the NFL, where the next owner after Jerry Jones just has no idea what to do. And it goes
Yeah,
up,
and
what
probably
would
his son.
Daddy do?
Probably his son. And it's really just, just the fact of the matter is, this move just reached the fact that Jerry Jones wanted the cheapest option possible. He went cheap because the fact of the matter is, if Mike McCarthy's contract wasn't expiring, Mike McCarthy would still be the head coach of this team. That's the reality of it. But because his contract's expiring, and Jerry didn't want to pay him, didn't want to pay him.
Saints head coach.
Didn't want to pay him. You now get Brian Schottenheimer because, of course, he still gets to keep his drinking buddy, just at a cheaper cost.
All in my ass. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep saying that. All in my ass, dude.
I mean, at the end of the day, it feels like the glory days of the Cowboys are going to be sung in the halls of the NFL legends. At some point, I feel, when do the former Cowboys greats just want nothing to do with this team, because it's more about, Jerry wanting to create headlines and, less about trying to build a team for yourselves. You are the Cowboys could be on the verge of something greater with a great coach, but they don't. Right? You have a franchise quarterback, as average as Brain Dakota Prescott is. You have a number one phenomenal wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb. I mean, you got Jerry Boy who's going to go for the flashiest moves instead of the right moves to try to get his quarterback there. And you still couldn't get it done. Like,
Well, Luke, I would I know that this is something you're very passionate about, but I know we said something about trying to make sure we slow down on time to let other people get in and speak.
well, people can get in.
I was just going to say, for the most part, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. The Dallas Cowboys are going to continue to be lolcows, and honestly, this is the best outcome for them because guess what? They get to be in the news for the next couple of weeks of how bad of a hire there are, and all Jerry Boy gives a shit about is clicks. He doesn't care about running a football team. He cares about getting America's team in the spotlight.
Oh, and my ass.
But I did want to say real quick, moving to a team, everyone outside of America thinks they care about to a team absolutely nobody cares about, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Can we just say real quick how Liam Cohen pulled the fucking Uno reverse of the century? Bro
I like
went to
that reverse.
Jacksonville, was like, nah, I ain't playing with Trent Baalke. Uh, uh, they were like, no shit? Fires Trent Baalke, and meanwhile he gets an extension to the Buccaneers. Bro immediately does a turn back and is like, now you're talking.
I
Oh
guess
my
I guess
goodness.
it okay, at the end of the day they got their coach and I'm happy for them. But like there's this little voice that's inside that's like there that goes, what does the future look like if they kept Trent Baalke around? I mean, I'm happy that it all worked out for the Jaguars at the end, but this organization, can they trade Trevor Lawrence to the Seahawks, please?
No, you're not getting him. You're sticking with Geno till the end of his contract. Quit. Spritz. Quit thinking of
It is
other quarterbacks. You have a perfectly fine lover at
I
home.
don't like him.
it is really hilarious.
It's
you know,
not a.
well, this
You,
is happening while the Geno Smith dilemma is happening in the background. The family is fighting right now. Well, that's happening. Needs to really be said, it is truly hilarious. It took Jacksonville 3 weeks to realize, maybe nobody wants to work with this Trent Baalke guy. Maybe we should fire him. And then you have Liam Cohen walked in and it's like, yeah, Taegan said it best. It's like, I don't want to play here. Jacksonville says, okay, we can fix that. And they finally get rid of Baalke and Cohen just fucking ghosts the Buccaneers. Because, yeah, I mean, there's been some. Listen, Lions fans have been saying their stuff about Ben Johnson. I think some of the way they've been describing it is the way to describe Liam Cohen and the Jacksonville Jaguars situation. Because, yeah, that man flat out just ghosted the Buccaneers in just God, he just fucking ghosted them. What
no,
else can be said? He
Jackson.
ghosted the Buccaneers.
Nah, here's what here's my thought process. What went on? Tampa Bay is like, no, baby, don't talk to him. He'll never treat you like I did. And then meanwhile, Jacksonville just blows up with, uh, Long Dick Daddy just showed up. Where you at, baby?
God damn. Like, it is really funny how this situation transpired, and the fact that, like, it's also really funny that it features Tampa Bay and Jacksonville. The fact that Liam Cohen just literally went upstate just to fucking find his new team. And the fact of the matter is, listen, I would be wrong to not bring it up. It is crazy that, it is really crazy that Baker Mayfield is going to be on his 8th offensive coordinator in 8 years. That is wild.
Simply put, I don't think any person has gone through more struggles than Baker Mayfield right now. No
Insert
person
sad
alive.
Baker Mayfield image.
Simply put, who has it worse than Baker Mayfield? Nobody. Not even Yankees fans have it worse than Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
I
And Yankees
mean,
fans have it worse than everything.
I just
So
because like I
true.
wonder too if like how much say does like Todd Bowles have in the offense, or is it just you know what I'm gonna focus. My mindset is gonna be totally focused on the defense. Whoever the OC is, I'm gonna give him free reign over the entire offense because it's been back-to-back years where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers said both their OCs plucked from them. So I want to know what like the mindset that is given to these guys by their head coach because I mean, from what it looks like to me, this is just a slam dunk. I would love to have total full control over my offense. So I mean, that's something that I'm going to keep my eye on, and I mean, Bobby Slowick Redemption Tour. Maybe he takes the job as offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay. We'll see. We shall see what happens here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah. Speaking of coaching hires, there was another coaching hire that happened today, featuring a team that plays in Las Vegas and may or may not know where I live.
Yeah, this one's weird.
No, I think it's a good signing. I think 100% it's a good signing. Going from John Gruden to Josh McDaniels to Antonio Pierce to Pete Carroll. He's the perfect fit. He's going to be a guy that's going to get them into the playoffs within his last couple of years because he's 73. By the time he turns 77 and the dude can just barely do anything anymore, he'll make the team to the playoffs and then he'll be like, "I'm old now. I want to retire." And then it'll be that.
I feel so deaf. Here's the thing. I like Pete Carroll. Seahawks fan all the way, right? I found that especially in his latter years. I felt his tactics to be quite outdated, right? And it's to me what I think Pete is more of a transitional guy. I don't think he's the one that's going to bring this team over that hump. I'm excited for the Pete Carroll and John Harbaugh rivalry being renewed. I absolutely love that. But the thing that I'm not so sure, I like Pete Carroll's philosophy, right? He's got the perfect philosophy. Could it be the right team, the right philosophy for the Vegas Raiders? Could be. I'm not going to deny that. But I'm not sold on this move. I feel like Pete Carroll's going to be probably done in 2 years because you have just such juggernauts to contend with as a coach in the specifically. If it was the South, oh, that's a slam dunk. I'd say, Nick, get me like a simple like wall hoop so I can just dunk this ball in there. But it's the West, and it's not Pete's fault. It's how the team is currently constructed for the Raiders. They're nowhere near ready, and that's how I feel. I hate to say it, I don't think they're anywhere near ready for me to say excellent hire on the coach. They're still transitioning, and the $1 zillion question is, are you guys going to be able... Because if they can land Shedeur Sanders... And in my first mock draft, I do have them taking Shedeur Sanders. My first 1.0 cringe mock draft. I do have them taking Shedeur. I'll be more sold. But I need to see what their quarterback position looks like first. Before I see anything really.
Mhm. Yeah, so as the guy who's made 4 videos on this channel about the Raiders, 2 this month alone, there's definitely a lot that to be said here, because, you know, it's really been a roller coaster of a month for the Raiders, you know, having Pierce get fired, then Telesco getting fired a couple days later, then, you know, Brady, who's basically running the team now. Brady's technically the de facto GM now. He does bring one of the guys that he worked with, or that he knew in Tampa Bay, and John Spytek, which is just a truly great name for someone to get to work with Tom Brady. I might add to that. You know, I think this is definitely Brady's vision now that we are seeing with the Raiders, and it makes sense that Pete Carroll gets hired, because I remember the Raiders made like pretty recently they made like I don't know what it was. It was like maybe like an agent hire or something to like find a head coach and all that. And the guy in question was I'm pretty sure he was like the same guy that got Pete Carroll to Seattle. So that was kind of a sign that this could happen. And lo and behold, given they couldn't get Ben Johnson, they go and get Pete Carroll. And the thing is, I think in terms of options for the Raiders getting head coaches after, missing out on Ben Johnson and really needing a head coach to try and find something to work with in this situation, Pete Carroll was definitely one of the better options. But I agree with what Luke said. This feels more like a transition coach, because you got to remember, Pete Carroll is 73, and for as great of a coach as he was during his, his prime and all of that, whether that be with the Seahawks or in college with USC, he's 73, and his last couple of years with the Seahawks showed that it really feels like age is catching up to him, or it really feels like the game is really starting to maybe pass him by. Yeah. Is it starting to pass him by? And that question's really going to be answered with how the Raiders look under him. Granted, there is talent on this team. Like, Brock Bowers is obviously Brock Bowers, but there's a lot that needs to be built with this Raiders team. And obviously, quarterback will be the major question, because I don't think, unless Shadur really has attitude problems yet show up during the stuff later, like before the draft, or his stock just falls, I think chances are the Raiders are probably going to have to sign someone. Who it's going to be. Granted, some people have already made stuff about how could they bring in Justin Fields? Could they bring in Russell Wilson and have him reunite with Pete? I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Dude, I would love... Dude, if the Raiders sign Russell Wilson, Raiders will be team 2, because I'd love that reunion between the two.
And I'd like to see it.
It would bring warmth to my heart, and then I would realize, oh yeah, this is why we moved on from both of them.
I mean, hey, it would give us Russell Wilson versus Sean Payton 2 times a year.
I would love that. Holy cow. I would love that. And it wouldn't cost them a whole lot. Okay, I'm being sold on I'm being more sold on this as we keep going on. I'm more sold on this now. I need to see what they do for quarterback. If they can do it right, I'm gonna be more sold and stuff. But if not, well, you know what? Just wait till Patrick Mahomes retires, and then it'll be your turn. Until then, your stadium's never gonna be empty. You're an attractive destination for 31 other teams.
Moving on to other teams, let's just get the most boring one out of the way while we're at it. Or at least the 2 most boring ones. Or actually, no, only one. Aaron Glenn to the Jets. Guys, did I ever tell you how much I just love a peanut butter sandwich? Because I just love a peanut butter sandwich. On a completely unrelated note, Aaron Glenn to the Jets provides me with the same amount of whatever that it always happens around this time. Like, sure, fine.
Yeah,
And the
I
other
mean,
one?
I'm just gonna say I actually have a personal opinion on the Jets, as I don't really think it matters who's the head coach for the Jets, whether it's Glenn or Salah or Olbrich. I think their main problem comes from their offensive coordinator. Nathaniel Hackett's horrible, and I don't care that Aaron Rodgers is that he's a yes man for Rodgers. He needs to go. He should not have been hired in the first place.
how dare you answer? How dare you defy the almighty Aaron Rodgers? He will have you outed. He will dispose of you with the plentiful amount of drugs and dog. Unk don't got it anymore. Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
don't got it anymore. It's time to hang. It's time to hang it up. Go ahead and go be the Viking. Go ahead and be the backup for JJ McCarthy. Go home. Go
Which,
home,
if
bro.
that does
You're
happen,
so
Spencer's
old,
gonna
bro.
kill
Don't
me,
go back to your
man.
wife and kids.
He doesn't. I don't think he does. He have kids.
No, he doesn't, bro. I think he does. He doesn't have a family either.
Just, like, I
Look,
think for Rodgers, it's okay. Just go off into it sounds like the Jets are gonna move off of him to begin with.
Yeah,
They want nothing
yeah,
with
it's
him.
really sounding like it, definitely.
look, if you think 5G towers are going to melt your children's brain and feed them the mind virus, please just stop. Please just stop being a quarterback and just go and listen to Alex Jones for the rest of your days. This is not in any relation to Aaron Rodgers at all. Wink, 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 wink,
Wink,
wink, wink.
Well,
This is true.
wink.
regardless of whether or not they move on from Rodgers, though, Hackett needs to be gone as soon as possible.
They haven't
The
fired
Jets
Hackett
offense
yet?
is not winning. No,
Hold
he's
on.
still their
No.
offensive coordinator. He's still out there. He's still kicking. We just haven't talked about him since Aaron Rodgers has been the main focus of the Jets offense. But no, Hackett's still the OC, and he's still terrible.
Yeah.
Lol.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Taegan, who is the other one that you had in mind about boring hires?
I mean, Mike Vrabel was technically a little boring, but that's just because everyone expected it. I think for the most part, it's not a bad hire. I think it's the right direction for the Patriots to go, and I think Vrabel is one of those coaches that was kind of disenfranchised because the Titans are being contenders for some of the shittiest organizations in football.
I think I
Mm-hmm.
might have said something.
But even then,
I think I might have said something like last week too, that it's the kids are still running the franchise the Patriot ways. The Patriots are gonna die from their own way. They're not gonna go anybody outside the organization, which I think is incredibly reckless. Which is why also I said earlier, I'm sorry, Drake May. You died to the Patriot way.
no. Don't say that about Drake May. Mike Vrabel's a good coach. And the thing is, Josh McDaniels has been a good coordinator. He's just been a horrible, absolutely fucking dog shit abysmal head coach, and should never consider even picking up the play sheets. However,
How long does he become? So how long until he replaces Tomlin for the Steelers head coach? Just kidding. Tomlin will never be fired.
Let's
The
not
ride
bring
never
that up
No.
again. But
Here's
yeah,
the thing.
it's-
Here's the thing. Like, I think I like the Josh McDaniels hire because yeah, it's Josh McDaniels, but he knows how to call plays for the Patriots. And the fact of the matter is, Matt Jones had easily his best season with Josh McDaniels. He looked like an actual competent quarterback under Josh McDaniels. So if he can do that for Matt Jones, I'm sure he can bring out a lot in Drake May. It's just, I think the big thing with the Patriots, it's not the coaching staff that I'm worried about, because I think the coaching staff for New England with Vrabel is good. It's just, God, there's so many things they need to fix with that team.
Especially the all line.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Can't have your rookie QB dying. Well, not really rookie, but you know, can't have your
Yeah.
QB dying in the backfield.
Yeah,
I believe this
absolutely.
leaves the Saints without a head coach now. I wonder who they're going to get.
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy is yours and yours alone. Sorry, Jugger.
No.
Because like the thing
No.
is, if the Mike McCarthy's not hired by the Saints, if I'm Mike McCarthy, I would feel like the biggest idiot on the planet, because you're gonna have to take less money to be a coordinator now instead of just re-signing with the Cowboys to begin with.
Not Mike McCarthy.
So I think Saints are gonna get Mike McCarthy.
Oh.
No. I hear it. Mike McCarthy to the Jets? He gets to reunite with Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Yeah.
Oh God.
No.
I like the sound of that much more than the Saints.
That's real.
Wasn't Mike McCarthy already hired somewhere else, though, as an assistant offensive line coach?
Oh. I don't think so. No, he hasn't. Okay.
Bro, still pour out on the streets.
Yep, still waiting to be hired.
All right.
Or Mike McCarthy. No one wants him.
With good reason. Good reason.
But yeah, I think there
it's
is
time for
there's
the
a
Bears
yep.
fans to completely take over
There's a
and
certain coaching hire to
glaze.
talk about here that we haven't
I
talked
love
about yet.
Ben
We've held off.
Johnson.
No! Just to
Yes.
preface this chat before we get into it, for the longest time, as my funny bit, which was only funny to me, I would constantly, anytime Cliff Kingsbury was on screen, I would be like, future Bears head coach. I didn't think Ben Johnson would actually do it, so I'm sad now. Anyways, go on. Go on, Bears fan.
Here we go.
Congratulations to the Chicago Bears on your back-to-back-to-back off-season championship banners.
No, we only won back-to-back. We didn't win 2022.
You traded
Yeah,
your
but
first-round pick.
For real,
You
this was a
did.
huge. This is a
No,
huge
that was
vote.
2023.
This is a huge get for the Bears. This is probably the most hyped up head coach since I gotta assume Kyle Shanahan, really.
I'm happy. I am very happy with this.
Christmas.
It's like
It's here.
Christmas.
This is one hell of a win.
Like I had a feeling it could very well happen, but I wanted to wait until it actually happened for me to get excited. And then when I saw the news, when I just see it pop up right on the timeline that Ben Johnson had been hired by the Bears, oh Lord, was I happy. That was just felt like such massive weights had been taken off my fucking shoulders.
Let me take a look real quick in some of the other servers that I have Nick in terms of first seeing Ben Johnson getting hired.
Like it
Simply-
was a real holy shit moment for me. Like holy shit, we actually did it. Like we actually did the right thing, and we got the coach we needed.
Caleb Williams will be saved.
I will say this, I sadly can't find it, but he was so happy that day that he posted NASCAR Hatsune Miku in the server, which for those who don't know, Nick is not a very open person about anime adjacent things. So whenever he posts something like that,
He
you
posted
know he was in a
gospel.
good mood.
He posts
Listen.
gospel.
Listen, I'm just saying, I was in a good mood, and the Bears gave me good reason to be in a good mood. To simply put, we made the right move. We made the right move.
We did, and I'm 100% glad. Not to mention, too, we were basically just poaching the Detroit Lions coaching staff. Unfortunately, we won't be getting Jeff Haley, but you want to know something else? Chris Morgan is dead. We don't have to deal with him anymore. He's gone. He's
We're
away.
freed.
Grandma,
However-
I'm free, Grandma. I'm free.
However, I guess I do want to bring this up real quick because it is a little bit important. Ben Johnson's going to have a rough task for him next year. But you want to know something? I feel like he's set for it. Now, you may ask, why do I say it's going to be a rough task? Simply put, I don't know if some of you guys have looked at the Bears' schedule yet, and I get you're gonna be like, "Why are you looking at the schedule already? The season hasn't even ended yet." Shut up, okay? The
Can I
reason
just
why I
say
bring
one
this up
thing?
is what?
I just want to say a funny bit that came to my mind. Q's or what is it? I'm misspoken the meme now. Now I don't know it. Because you just reminded me of the impossible impractical jokers meme where it's like, Q, I don't know, simple,
Sal,
uh,
pet this cat.
yeah,
Murr.
Sal, pack this cow.
Save the world from Satan.
And then it's like, yeah, Sal, fix the Chicago Bears. That just came to my
Nah.
mind. Go on though.
Well, he beat his punish. He did his thing. He won't be tonight's biggest loser. That will go to Sal. And for his punishment, he will have to take an F5 from Brock Lesnar. Anywho, as I bring this up, would you guys like to know all the away games the Bears have next year?
Go on. I'm so intrigued.
So of course they have their like in division games. So this is their easiest home game. Their easiest away game. The Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, that sounds pretty decent, right? Now, after them, you have the San Francisco 49ers. That's the second least hardest team on their schedule. They also have the Cincinnati Bengals, the Washington Commanders, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Baltimore Ravens. That's rough. That is a rough schedule for away games. Now, why do I bring this up? Because I think this is going to be a good challenge for Ben Johnson. I'm automatically sitting here saying it's no longer the fact that we have to be better than last year. If Ben Johnson can get a winning record, what the fuck? Anywho, if Ben Johnson can get a winning record with those games on the road, I think we have nothing to worry, and Ben Johnson's going to be him. But I just bring it up because he's going to have a challenge in front of him, and 9 times out of 10, I would be like, oh fuck, this is going to be horrible, and this is going to be miserable. But I feel different. The one thing that Ben Johnson has me have hope for that I haven't seen with any other head coach that I've seen for the Bears, he has aura. Matt Nagy never had aura. He had to show he had aura in 2018. Matt Eberflus didn't have aura until he got a beard, and then he sucked. But Ben Johnson, he came in, you want to know the first thing he said? Let's get back to work.
Yeah.
That had me hooked. I had chills.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even a Bears fan, and I had chills from that too, man. Dude's got swag.
Yeah.
I just, you know,
I just have
I'm so
one
proud.
request
I'm
for
so
Bears
happy.
fans. Can we wait for the results off the field before I see? Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes,
It's
we
been
know.
2 off seasons. I'm sick and tired of it. Please
Yes,
wait.
it's not our fault that people on Twitter are fucking stupid. We know.
Thank you.
I'm just, you know, seeing guys so happy. It's like when I remember while I was a wee lad. The year was 2024. We got a new head coach. You know, new quarterback. You know, I'm thinking, you know, this is about to be a great season. So hold that optimism, hold that joy. You know, be happy. Be you know, for 7 months, be happy.
Yeah, I can see that.
I hope that things go well for you. And you
I
guys
want the
don't
Bears
just
to
win
be
one more
good.
football game than you did
I
last
think-
year.
I thank you, Ren. This is the nicest thing he's ever said to us. He really is trying to earn them brownie points on stream.
I mean, at the end of the day, Jesus Christ, thank God I'm not in the North.
Thank God I'm not in a rebuild. I'm not in a
Thank God
rebuild.
I'm not in the NFC
Woo.
North. I can be thankful for that because the line. I mean, as much as the Lions staff getting poached, ugh, good lord, don't want to be facing the Lions twice. Packers, ugh, don't want to face the Packers twice. Bears now, if all the cogs can connect and rotate, yeesh. And if JJ McCarthy is good, ugh. Thank God I'm in the West. Because the North is going... It's going to be a fun time watching the North. Very fun. And I shan't wait. I shan't wait to see what happens. And as for the Bears, I wish you good luck. And may the odds be so ever in your favor. I mean that. May the odds be in your favor. And I think that's everything. I think that's everything, right? Right?
Yeah.
Next week is the assembly. We're gonna do it. Next week will be the assembly. We'll be going over the teams that did not make it, and we will be like disappointed parents going, "Grr, why did you do this?" And then we got the Super Bowl, so that should be something interesting to talk about. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. We got amazing content coming up. And they got Taegan Rampa tomorrow?
No, we're watching Saturday night main events.
Okay.
Danganronpa will be on Tuesday, though.
And then
Don't worry.
Pokemon Reborn Thursday.
Most likely, yeah.
Going up
barring something coming up. Barring something happening from me.
Yeah, it could be happening for me then because I'm not so sure what my next week's schedule looks like, but we'll see. Anyways, we will see you all next week. And of course, have yourselves